Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to create a new mod for Stickforge. So we are going to follow a quick tutorial to show you how to do that. So first, you need the following requirements. So you need to have Stickforge installed. You need to have completed a local dedicated server installation too. So you can just click on it and follow the tutorial for that. You will also need a code editor of your choice, so I'm using Cursor, but you can use any text editor you want, so it could be Visual Studio Code or Notepad++, it's up to you. Then you will also need the map editor, which is tiled, it's free. You can just follow the link and install it. Then you will need to drawing software like GIMP, for example, or any software that can handle transparency. So it's up to you again. Once you have all those requirements completed, we can process to the next step. So since we are going to create a new mod, we will take as example the official Stickforge mod, which is already installed in your local dedicated server. So for that, you just need to open Steam like this. Just make sure the Stickforge dedicated server is properly installed. Then click on the gear here. Click on Manage, then Browse Local Files, and here it is. So you are in the Stickforge dedicated server directory. There is a folder called Mods. You can click on it, and you have here the Stickforge official mods. So you can click on it, and you will see that all the resources and the assets for that mod. So here it is. Just make sure to read the license if you want to modify anything here, and distribute it on the Steam Workshop items only. So the next step to create our new mod, we are going to call it paper mod. So basically it will be like drawing Stickman. You can maybe you already drew that during classes or during your childhood. So we are going to tune the aspect of the Stickman, and for that we need to create a new folder. So we are going to call it paper mod. Okay, next we will copy some files of the official Stickforge mod. So the first thing we are going to copy is the config JSON file, the header image JPG, and that's all for now. So can go back to the paper mod. Okay. Then after that, we will need at least one Stickman skin. So we are going also to copy the classical skin. So go back to mods, SF base, and classical. Copy. Okay, mod, paper mod. Now we need to create again the skins folder. So I can do that like this, skins, and you will paste the classical skin here. Okay. Then, once the classical skin is copied, we will also need at least one weapon. So we will go on the SF base mod again, choose an item of our choice. For example, we will take the bow. Can go back if you want, like this. We are going to create a new folder called items 2. We go in it and copy the bow prehistoric item. In it, you will have all the resources. Okay. So in our paper mod, still in the Stickforge dedicated server mods directory, we have the items and skin. Okay, now we will also want NPC at least. So we're going in the mods directory again, SF base, NPCs, and we're going to take the Stickman bow, which is the archer, like the one there is in the Conquer Point mod. So let's go back. Let's write NPCs. Okay. And here it is. 3 folders. Let's compare again. NPCs. Alright. Okay. So we are going to need an additional folder called map and another one called players. It will be empty. This one will be empty. So let's go back. Okay, let's do it like this. Players and maps. Okay. So the next step will be to edit the skins and eventually the item, to edit the style and the statistics too, the stats, damage, and so on. So let's do that. Let's start first with the bow. So we will need only one bow, not all the item skins. That means we will keep only the prehistoric bow here, and we will delete the other ones which are not needed anymore, like this. And we are going to edit the graphics, the assets of the bow. So first, we will change the model. So you need to open that with any drawing software you have. For me, it will be GIMP, so it's already open. I just need to drag and drop like this. Here it is. So this is the bow. The bow must be in this angle specifically because it will be held by the stickman. So it needs to be drawn like that. So let's do a more paper stylized version of the bow. Something very easy and quick. So I'm going to take only one color. Actually I could start from scratch, but I just want to follow a similar shape, maybe something like that. Could do more like this. Okay, it's not bad. Okay. Okay. And we have our bow. We don't need something very realistic, just for illustration purposes, so like that. Okay, let's do it. So I'm going to save the image as it. I could change if I want the size, the width, the height, but for this tutorial we will keep as simple as possible for now. So I also need to change the overview. So this one is displayed in the server's shop. When you are in the in-game shop, this is the image that will be used. So let's drag and drop it too. And here it is. So we have the overview. So for this one, to rebuild the same ID, so we are going to copy this like that. Up. I'm going to rotate it like that. Okay, maybe make it a bit bigger. So you need, if you start designing an overview from scratch, you will need to keep this size exactly. So okay, let's scale it a bit like that. Okay, I'm just going to draw an arrow on it, something very simple like that. Okay, and I'm going to save it. So we now have our bow images, so the overview and the model. Now we'll also need to edit the arrow. So it's going to be very simple, just adding a new layer, transparency layer, to draw on the top of the current images. Just checking. Okay, I'm going to do something like that. Okay, 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 I'm going to change the size a bit. It's an arrow, a bullet, so I can do whatever I want. And here it is. And we have a bow. We will keep the same sounds. Now I'm going to sorry, edit the data JSON, which is the stats of the item. So there is damage, the bullet speed, and so on. So for that, I'm going to do it in cursor. Okay. So here is my bow. There is the translation here, the name that will be displayed in the shop as a short description. You can do it in all the languages you want. This is the model. The model should be the same as the file here, prefix or prehistoric. And you have all the skins here, but we will only keep only one. So the bow prehistoric. We are going to delete the others like that. And we are not going to change other attributes, maybe except the damage. Maybe we will increase it a bit, like to like this, I think. And hotter, can put your name here. So if your name is Bob, you can put Bob. Oh, Bomberman, funny suggestion. So Bob, okay. Let's save it. You also need to change one thing, which is the ID, the identifier of your item. It must be unique as much as possible. So for that, you need to generate a new one. So it's quite easy. You only need to go to the internet. I will show you. So open your browser, type generate object ID, like this. Click the first link, for example, and you will have a page like that. You can click on new object ID, copy, and you are going to paste it back in your item. Right, so now you officially have a new item. Okay, let's process to the next step. So now we are going to customize the Stickman skin. So let's go back to our folder, which is the dedicated Stickforge server folder. So you can go back to your mod root directory and you will go to the skins directory and you have the Stickforge or Battle Stick classical skin. So you can click on it and here it is. You have the famous classical skin of Battle Stick. So what you will need now is to open that in your software editor. So actually it's going to be a bit boring because it will be always the same body part drawing, but we should be able to do that pretty quickly. So let's go. So you can navigate to the right folder using your image software editor. So for me it's GIMP again. So I'm going to skins, classical, and I'm going to open everything like that. Open. So let's wait a bit. Here you go. So you have all the skin. So we're just going to stylize the skin like a paper skin. So we're going to actually make it all black, something like that. And I'm going to draw 2 eyes. Oh, not so big, maybe something like that. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay, so this is the file called head hurt. So that means when the character is actually hurt. That will be the face shown in game. So I'm going to copy that into this one, which is head dead. And when the character is dead, I'm just going to do that. Something a bit funny, like that maybe. Okay, I'm not in good shape, like that. Okay, And now I need the head, which is the standby mode when nothing special happen. So I'm going to copy this one here, like that. Okay. And the last one, which is just blank. So I'm just going to take this one, copy 2, and do something like that. Okay, so I'm going to save them like this. Overwrite, and overwrite. Nice. So now I have the head. I need the body. So we are going to do something very easy. We are going to change the color. I'm going to make it all black, like that. Very easy. And I'm going to change the size, only the width, for something more skinny, you know, really like you are drawing a stickman on a sheet of paper, something like that. So let me try again. Okay, I want to keep the 8 and to change only the width. So I'm going to put maybe 15. Yeah, I could see a stickman like that. Actually, feels good. Maybe a bit larger, maybe 20. Oh, without the constraints will be better. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to, so that was the right up leg. So there is body parts, right up arm, right down leg, right down arm, and so on and so on and so on, and it creates this image and your character. So for that, I'm just going to make it easy as much as possible. So I'm just going to copy paste like that and cropping to canvas 20, center, resize. Okay, so I'm going to do that for every limbs. Alright, so now the last thing we need to do for our new Stickman skin is to change the overview. Remember, the overview is the image that is displayed on the server's shop. So the players will see this image. You can do whatever you want. If you want to write something, for example, I'm going to write paper. We can do it like that, maybe a bit smaller. Again, depends on your software, but you are totally free on the overview images. It's for the server's shop. So I'm going to now, this is the most difficult part, I would say, create a new layer, or depending on your drawing software. The goal here is to take all the limbs and create an overview. So with the stance you want, not necessarily like that. So we are going to do something very easy in our case because the character is all black. Okay, so with another Stickman skin, I would have copied all the limbs one by one and articulated them to create this stance. So it can take like 5 or 10 minutes depending on what you want to do. But for our tutorial, I'm going to do something very easy. So it's going to be like that. So I just need to maybe, okay, fine. So I'm going to do that to draw a stickman directly on it, on my new layer, like that. Okay, something like that maybe. And I'm going to put this head like this, changing the scale too, but it's really up to you. You can draw whatever you want. Here you go. Ta-da! So we have our new character, Paper Stickman. So yeah, the head is a bit off. Maybe something like that would be better. Okay, fine. Okay. Maybe the limbs are a bit too long too, like a bit Slenderman, but you can adjust that, and if you want, you can change the height too here, so it's right up to you. Again, I'm going, yes, like that. Okay, so I'm going to save it, and if I check here, here you go, my character is ready. Perfect. So now I'm going to modify the data.json too, like we did for the item. All right, so let's go back to the paper mode folder. So just to sum up, we have the items, which is working well. I think it will work directly. We did everything we needed. The NPC, so only the data.json, which is just behind the screen. The players, which is empty, and the skins we did earlier. So that's fine. So now we are going to do the configuration of your mod, which is one of the most important steps, and you don't want to make a typo or an error in this file, because your mod won't work at all. So this is an important matter. So you need to again open it like that. Okay, and here it is. I have my main mod file. So I'm going to explain you quickly what we need for this tutorial, and you will be able to download the whole archive of this mod example. So first, we are going to change the ID. It needs to be unique. It needs to be in this specific format using an underscore and lowercase. It it is best better to do that to make sure it works well. So let's write paper mod, for example. You can append your name if you want to make sure it's someone has not a mod called the same. Here you can write, for example, Bob's paper mod. Here it's the loader, so you can instruct the game the game server to load specific items of your game. So if you want to load only the skins, the maps, and so on, you will set true to all the attributes here for this tutorial. So the author again offer, so let's Bob description. This is the official Bob providing all items. No, I'm going a beautiful paper mod for Stickforge. Okay, version like that. So you can do the same thing as me, or just download the files. The game mode. Okay, so we're going to have a game mode, but only one. So when you are starting your server, you will be asked to choose a game mode. So you can only run the server, game server, on only one mod at a time. So you will need to choose the mod you want. So this is the example what I did for Battlestick 2, and this is also what's available for Stickforge. It provides, I think, a good template. And so for our example, we are only keeping only one mod. So I will keep the Conquer Points mod, I think. So I'm going to do that. So make sure, if you are not familiar with coding and JSON format, I strongly recommend to use a file formatter or file parser to make sure your JSON is valid. So you will need to take a look on Google or anything you want. You can type JSON validator and you will find a tool. JSON 5, of course, not JSON, but JSON 5, because there is comments. And you should be able to validate your JSON to make sure it works well. Otherwise, you just have to be cautious, vigilant about the brackets and the quotes here. Okay, so I'm going to close the brackets here, and I'm going to delete directly like that. It will be easier. And in the end, you will only have one game mode. So here it is. You have CP, which is the shortcut for Conquer Points. You can keep that name if you want to keep the team 1, team 2 like in Battlestick, or you can give another name. But that makes no sense in our context in this tutorial, because it will be only to show you how to do a simple game mode. We don't want to, for example, create a peaceful mode or an open world or a dungeon or something like that. We want something very simple. So we only need to do that, and we will need to change the maps. So let's go. Okay, so I will do that. Maybe just ignore what I did. Okay, you can keep maps disabled, and where there is the maps, we are going to create a new map from scratch, but it will be quite easy. So just keep CP, which is the directory. Just going to show you. Here it is. I'm going to show you the official Stickforge mod. So there is a maps folder too, and if you click in it, you will have the CP directory, which is a Conquer Points, and in it you have other maps like Forest Edge, and in it you have the tiled file. We are going to talk about that in a few seconds. So what I'm going to do for our paper mod is to create a folder called CP2 Conquer Points, and we are going to keep it very easy. So I'm just going to create a new folder called Paper World. Okay, and here it is. I'm going to change it here, Paper World, and the map will be called CP Paper World, but we haven't created it yet. Okay, so CP Paper World, and we are going to delete the other ones. So there are multiple maps here because the server will select a map randomly when starting a new game. So we only need a single map here in this array. That will be enough for our example. So you can save. Don't forget to save the file. And we are good for now for the one of the most important file, which is the config.json5 file of your mod. Okay. Next, we need to remember that for the next step. So back to the main folder of your mod. Here, we are going to change what we call the header image. Let me open it for you. It's like that. That will be the image that will be displayed on the Steam workshop. When you will share your mod to the community, you will have to provide this image. So there is a separated tutorial on how to upload a mod to the Steam workshop. It won't be covered in this tutorial, but we will modify the image for the Steam workshop. So let's do that. Open with GIMP. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to do it very, very easily. So I'm going to take another color like paper, maybe something like that. Paper color. Here you go. Something very, very easy. Okay, maybe I can do something like that. I don't have the right brush, but okay. Going to try something. Okay, well, it's not very important actually. Let's keep it like that. So I'm going to take my character, Stickman skin. Okay, I need to flatten the wall layer. It will depend on your software actually, but I need to flatten the wall image. Oh no, because there is transparency, I don't want to do that. I just need to merge down each layer. Okay. Okay, so like that, like that. Let me go take it. Okay, okay. And I will paste it in my header image like that, and I'm going to overwrite it. Perfect. So it's up to you here. It's a overview image for the Steam workshop for your mod, so you can design what you want. Use your imagination and feel free to design the best showcase image. So let's verify. Okay, perfect. So the last step of our tutorial is to create the map. So I'm going to do something very quickly because I will do a separated tutorial for the map creation. So for this one, I'm going to make something very easy. Okay, so I will go on the internet and find a free asset just for this demo. So let's go to internet. You can go to itch.io. There is a section with game assets, free game assets, and you can write here backgrounds. Okay, and here it is. Just be careful of the licenses because some creators don't want you to use their assets on the Steam Workshop. They don't want, for example, to resell or redistribute the items. So be cautious about what you select and always respect the license of the creator. So we will pick this one, made by Liz Molnar, which is very very fine, and we are going to download it. Okay, once it's downloaded, you can just copy it in your mod folder. Don't forget to delete it once you are done. So I'm often doing something like that. I create a new folder and I'll call it raw. It's just for assets and designing. Then after that, I delete it because I don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to take all the assets and put them in raw like that. Okay, going to check with the view, maybe a bit like, and okay, nice. We have the layer. So we have everything we need to create our map. So I'm going to delete that. Okay, I have my map folder here. Paper mode, maps, CP, paper world. Okay. Now I'm going to create a new folder called props, which is the assets of the map. So we are just going to take the raw files. So we will take the ground and we will take maybe the background, which is the 1 and 11 number. So let's copy it like that. Let's go to the maps, CP, paper world, props, past. Okay, and now you have your two files. Okay, so the next step will be to open Tiled. Okay, so now we are going to open Tiled like that. We are going to create a new map, or you can choose here that new map. Keep those settings, just change this one. Base 64 zlib compressed. Press OK. Here you go. So what you can do now is to create a new tile set, but first we are going to save the map. File. Okay, just take the right folder like that. Can go here, copy, paste. Okay, but I'm in props. I need to go to paper world, which is the root directory of my map. So I'm going to write here cp paper world. This is actually what we wrote in the config JSON 5 of your game mode here. So we need to keep exactly the same name of the file, like that, and save. Nice. Okay, so now we need to create a new tileset. Okay, for this tileset we need to give it a name. We call it tileset, for example, like that, and you will use an image, a collection of image, like this. Click Save As, go into Paper World, so in the root folder of the map, and press Save. And you have a new window that opens with written tilesets. Okay, and if you go back to the map here, you will see tileset here. Okay, so now we need to edit this tileset to add the props, the images. So we are going to press here. So we go back to the tileset window. We're going to click here, add tiles. Okay, go to props, and we select both images and open. Okay, so now if you see your tileset, there is the images. They are so big that it takes the whole screen, but that's not important. You can zoom out here, for example, set 25%, or using control and mouse wheel, like that. Okay, you can then save your tileset. Don't forget. Okay, then you can do the same thing here. Zoom out, and you are good to go. So now we need to create what we call layers. Layers are useful to put objects on your map, and what we call information prop, which is, for example, the spawn point, the collisions, things like that. So I'm going to show you an example of a Stickforge map. So you are going to go to mods folder when there is the official Stickforge mod, going to maps, and you are going to choose, for example, let's choose a CP map, for example, the forest edge, and we will take the forest edge, this one. Double click, and the map should open. Okay, so like I said earlier, this is the official Stickforge map, battle stick map, and the assets here are under licenses. So you don't have the right to distribute them outside of the game context. So it's very important. Don't do that. Okay. So just to show you, for example, purposes. So you have a tileset I made for this map. Here it is. And you have what we called the objects here, or the layers, but go on objects, and there are multiple objects. There is the doodads, which is actually the images. For example, if I select a tree here, you will have the tree. And there is the what I told you earlier, the information props, which is the spawn, for example. So we will use this map for convenience purposes to make it easy, okay, to add the props and so on. So the first step will be to go back on our paper world, add the layer. So I clicked here, okay, and you choose object layer, right? So just delete what is not needed. You will need to call it doodads. Just verify against the official Stickforge map. If you are in doubt, go on object here and make sure this is the same name. Okay, doodads, like that, doodads. Okay, I think we are good. It's the same, doodad. Okay. Now, make sure the driving order is set to manual. Okay, should be identical. Perfect. Now, we need another layer called infos. So let's add it like that. Infos. We're going to set it to manual, but it's not mandatory since infos are not displayed to the player. It's more like technical informational props. So let's do that. Perfect. So now we are going to, in our info on the official Stickforge map, and we're going to take the spawn 1 and spawn 2. So we are going to do like this, copy, and in the info, paste. Okay. So now you have officially a spawn point for the team number 2. Remember, the team number 2 is the team here in your config.json5 file. So it's a bit technical, but once you have done your first map, it will be easier after that. Okay, so I will need other spawn, so I can copy paste, and I will change it to T1. So when the players arrives in game, it will be always T1. So you can go to view here if you want. It's not mandatory. And you can go to show object names for all objects if you want. And you will have a better overview of your info points. So okay, here is your spawn point. Here is the other team spawn points. Now we're going to our local spawn points for the local player, so yourself, and we are going to delete the custom properties that are used to spawn an NPC. So it's not needed for our spawn point, but we are going to keep it for the spawn point number 2 here. The only thing we are going to change is the number of NPCs alive, maximum number. So we're going to set 1, and we are going to need the NPC's ID. So we are going back to our code. We're going to the NPC called Stickman bow we did earlier, and we're going to take the ID here, okay, and we're going to put it here. And now the map knows you want to spawn an NPC at this point. Every 1 second with one NPC maximum at a time alive in the game. So we have the basics of spawning for the game. You can have multiple points if you want. Okay, so next step will be to add the graphical assets. So we're going back to the tileset layer, which is our layer we did for this map. Be careful not to add elements from this map to this one. It may not work, so be careful about that. Okay, so let's go. Click on doodads to make sure you are on the right layer. Click on the items you want to add, which is the background, and click here, which is insert tile. Click and click, and you have your background. So it's too big. What you need to do is to click here, select objects, zoom out. You can do that here, or use the mouse wheel. You can use the mouse wheel click to drag the map area. Okay, mouse wheel click, mouse wheel. Sorry for the pronunciation. And you can resize. You can resize like that. You can press Ctrl in the same time to keep the ratio. Okay, like that and like that. Perfect. So you have a background. Now you need to make sure that your image you just had, your graphical asset, has the same name as the image. Okay, so it will be very important, otherwise the game won't display it. So for doing that, it's quite easy. You just need to take this, okay, to copy like that, and okay, that's done. So make sure, okay, so that's the file name. Make sure the file name is actually set properly on your doodad name, like that. And if it worked, you will see it just above the image. Okay, so then we're going to add the floor. So same, we click on the tile set, we click here to add a tag. Make sure you are on doodad and just click to add it. Use the select object tool, click on it, zoom out. Okay, and now we are going to rescale. So if it goes like that, rotation, it won't work. The game doesn't support rotation for now. Okay, so you need to click again to go into the scale mode. So zoom in, click Control, drag to resize. Like that. Perfect. Okay, don't forget to save the map. Okay. Okay. Now, don't forget to add the name too. Click here, ground, and it will pop up here automatically. You see, ground, ground. Okay. So we have the basics. Now we need to add the collisions. Okay, so the collision are added automatically to an image. And sometimes you don't want that. For example, for the sky, you don't want it to be a wall box colliding because your character would be destroyed and it won't work. For the ground, you can see the image is a square too. with a empty area here, and you don't want to use the colliding box of the image too. So we are going to disable it. It's very easy to do that. For example, I do that in Stickforge sometimes for the background, and there is a property called collide. So you are going to your map, you are going to select the sky, choose, so okay, I was too quick. So you choose your background, you go here to add a custom property, and you choose here string, and you set collide. Okay, and you write false. You will do the same thing for the floor. You can also copy and paste. Just click here in the white box and paste. Alright, so now there will be no collision at all. That means your player will fall in the void, basically. So you will need to add a collision, what I call a virtual collision, because it's not visually paired to the image directly. So to do that, it's quite easy. I do that a lot for the official Stickforge maps, and I call that transparent. Transparent. So actually, it's a transparent image to do that. So I'm going to show you how we can do it easily. We're going to create a small image. So for that, you need to go to GIMP. You need to create, or your software, whatever. You need to create a new image, which will be very small, 5 pixel by 5 pixels. So, okay. You can zoom in. Make sure it's transparent. So you can delete, add the alpha channel and delete the whole image. So you need to have a transparent image. Okay. And if you don't succeed to create one, you can still download the archive I'm going to put at your disposal so that you can have the transparent image. Okay, so I'm going to save it. Make sure you are in the right folder of the dedicated server. Navigate to it if needed. All right, here is the folder we'll need to go. It depends on your computer, but for me it's like that. And let's go to the maps, CP, paperwork, props, and name it transparent. And save in PNG. Okay. We have this, export, and you will have your image. Now go back to tiled, go back to your map. Okay, now go back to your tile set, add a new tile here, and select transparent. Okay, and you should have it right next to your last image, like that. Save it, go back here, and now you should be able to use the transparent. So select doodads, select transparency, your image, click on insert tile and insert it. So you will see it's very, very small. So you will need to zoom in and increase its size like that. You don't have to press Ctrl because you don't want to have a constraint ratio. You want to be able to scale the image freely. So the goal here will be to take the shape of the ground. It doesn't need to be strictly pixel perfect, but something like that will be okay. so that your character don't fall through the ground. Here you go, something like that. Perfect. So press save. Don't forget to make sure your doodad have the name, so double click here. Okay, and it popped up automatically. So now, congratulations, you have a map that is almost playable. So what you need to do now is to give a name to your map. So we are going to give a name. We are going to call it Paper World. So for example, here is the name I gave to Forest Edge, CP Forest Edge. So you can go to map and map properties, and you will see the name here with the game mode and the map name, game label, and so on. So you will need to take those property here, or you can write them manually. Just make sure to keep the exact same key name. So let's keep the 3 like that. Go to paper world, go to map, map properties, click here on the white box and paste. Okay, it doesn't work. Let's try with 2 maybe. Okay, it works with 2. Maybe because I edit the text field. So let's copy paste the last one. Okay, change the name. So paper world. Now for this one, the map name, it's a technical name, so you need to keep it as simple as possible and in lowercase, using underscore only, not space. So it will be paper world like that. Okay, once you have that, your map is playable. You may want to take also a flag, just in case. I don't know if it's a good idea, but we can do that. We can take a flag, which is the capture flag of the CP mod. So let's go. Let's take it. So you can copy, can go here, make sure to be on info, press past Ctrl V, and here is the right flag. So you can put it here, for example. And I think we are good to go. I'm going to change the flag ID, set 1, because there is only one flag. I'm going to also make the map a bit bigger. It's not needed, but I think it's too small for a test. You may have display issues because it will be smaller than your screen. So better to resize the map. For doing so, you can go to map, resize map, and you can do here something like maybe something like that, 60 and like this. Okay, and here you can click and just drag and drop to make sure the canvas is almost centered. Click OK, and you can see the edition area is bigger. Now you can just zoom out again. You can take your image, move it. You can add multiple images if you want, or just do something like that. It's a bit ugly, but it works. So you can do that. And same for the sky. You can do that too. And if you want to add another sky, just to show you, but you don't have to do that, just to show you, can copy, paste and put it here, it will be above the ground. So you just have to do right click and lower object, and it will be fine. Okay, so next step would be to move a bit the spawn points. Maybe it would be here, so that will be the NPC, right? And here that will be our player, like that. We are going to move the right flag a bit. We are going to change the collision, don't forget, transparent. Oh, my bad. Okay. Something like that. Like that. Okay. Like this. Okay. So just keep in mind that the camera of the game won't go past the grid. Okay, so if you want to display something here, it won't be visible in game. The camera will be stuck, won't go further the grid. For example, here. Okay, the part here won't be visible. Same for here, it won't be visible too. Okay, so here we go. We have our map. Okay, I just realized that I made an error. We need to save as the map in the paper world directory here, not in props. So I'm going to save it here, and I'm going to delete it in the props because it won't work at all. So it must be like that. Make sure you have that paper world directory and the props like that. Okay. Go back to your mod folder. We are also going to make a little adjustment, and we are going to rename the mod folder here to add Bob. Okay, make sure tiled is closed to do that, otherwise you will have the same error as me. In your mod folder, you are going to create a new folder too in Bob Paper Mod Players. So double click in it and create a folder called data, like that. It will allow the game server to store the players for your mod in particular. Okay, so now we are going to test the game. So first thing to do is to select on Steam Stickforge dedicated server. So you will click on launch. After that, you will this terminal. You will write dev and press enter. That means that your server will not be visible publicly, and that only you will be able to connect to the game, and eventually some of your friends want to play, as long as they have your IP and that they are on your local network, but that's another story. Okay, so write dev, press enter. Then now you write your game mod, which is Bob Paper Mod. Remember, that's the identifier of the mod and also the directory name. And then slash and cp, which is the game mod. Okay, so you can press enter and the game is launched. In my case, I have another server launched, so I have this error. But for you, it should be all green like that with no error. So once your dedicated server is launched, you only have to launch the game. So I'm going to show you. click play like that. The game launch. You can click play online. Then you click join IP. Then you click join localhost. I'm going to do it again just to show you. Play online, green button, join IP, then join localhost. So it's loading the game. You are now connected to your local server. You should be able to see it in the terminal with some messages that probably appeared. You're going to select your new skin here. Okay. Select. Same for a weapon. You're going to select your new bow, which is right here. You can see the bow of the official Stickforge mod. So click select, go back, and now you can click join. And you have your map here with an NPC here. Okay, so you can see that the joints on your character can be improved. So you will only have to change a bit the images and should be able to do that quite easily. Okay, I think that's all for today. So thank you for watching this tutorial. If you need help, feel free to ask on our Discord server. There is a modding channel for that. And since the game is in early access, there will be a lot of improvements in the coming days, just after the release, depending on the feedback. So we will see how it goes, but yeah, it's very exciting. And feel free to let me know what you think. Bye.